I'm Leah Chernikoff, and this is Harper's Bazaar's The Goodbye, where we invite celebrities, designers, models, and tastemakers to talk shop. What they buy, where they got it, and why it matters. Our next guest on The Goodbye is on one of the buzziest shows in prestige television. As Yasmin on Industry, she is one of the most compulsively watchable and anxiety-inducing characters on screen and was awarded with a BAFTA last May for her work. You may also recognize her from Back to Black, where she inhabited the singular Amy Winehouse, or my latest favorite, Black Bag, where she held her own alongside Cate Blanchett, Michael Fassbender, and Naomi Harris. She is back on screens for season 4 of Industry, and she's also a new bride.
I am a new bride. Yeah. I'm also in all white today.
Playing the role.
Yeah, I realized that when I put it on.
So I'm so excited to talk to you today about navigating new-ish fame and fashion, how you use style to tell your stories on screen and off. So welcome to The Goodbye, Marisa Abela.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Everybody claps. So usually I have a co-host, Lynette Nylander, our executive digital director, but she's not here. Usually we talk about our recent goodbyes. So I wanted to know, do you have any that have made your life easier or that you're really happy about in the last few weeks? Maybe anything for the holidays that you got?
Well, I took my honeymoon over Christmas and New Year this year. So my best buy was like those flight tickets, I guess, and like the hotels.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot to kind of invest in a trip because, like, unlike things that you buy and keep, you buy and then like all you have to keep is the memory,
you can touch
the experiences, right? But you sort of, but it's a honeymoon and you only get to do it once. Touch wood. So, so we had a really, really nice time and. I'm filming at the moment, and so is my partner. So we knew that Christmas and New Year was the only time.
That was your window.
That was our window. So
can you tell us where you went? Did you have a great time?
We had a great time. I mean, it was kind of wild. He had a premiere in LA, and I have this in New York. So we knew that we wanted something in like the Americas. We didn't want to go too far away. So we met in Vegas.
Okay.
Because we went to Amangiri for.
Oh.
Yeah,
in
Utah. So we had to fly into either Vegas or Arizona.
You weren't staying in Vegas.
We stayed for a night.
Okay.
I was like, I'm not flying into Vegas. I'm flying straight out. Like, my parents got married in Vegas.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, we stayed at the Bellagio. We lost some money.
Amazing.
It was really fun. Amangiri was incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. And then we flew to Mexico. We went to Mexico City for 5 days, and then we went to like the Pacific coast for
so nice.
5 days.
Nobody has said a trip before, and I think that's really important. And also, we're all told now that like millennials and young people are investing in experiences rather than things. But I still like things too. I just got some little shearling boots because I'm really hoping for more snow. So maybe with my clothing, I'll will it. And you can slip into them. I can't handle laces anymore.
Yeah, I'm a big UGG girl.
Do you have a sort of style philosophy or about shopping, anything that you follow as you get dressed for the day or think about a red carpet, your personal style?
I think for a red carpet, I think it's become more like it needs to reflect my personal style. I think when I was younger, I felt more like I'll wear whatever I'm allowed to wear.
Yeah.
And also I'll wear whatever like feels exciting and different. And I think now if I wouldn't buy it, why the hell am I wearing it on the red carpet?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of become a bit more of, and I think that's kind of more true in my everyday life too. Just really following my gut. Like, do I feel good in this? Do I like this? And that's what I'm sort of buying more now. I always lean towards tailoring, and I feel really good in like well-made pieces that like give me kind of support and structure, and I'll always lean more towards that than like a sort of slinky number.
Yeah.
But I think it's about, feeling, for me, it's about feeling confident.
Yeah.
And it's more about, and this is probably sacrilegious to say,
Oh, I can't wait.
but it's more about like me, how I feel in my body than the clothes themselves. Like it can be like the most simple white t-shirt, the most simple black blazer. But if for whatever reason it like is hitting me perfectly, like that's the thing that I love about it.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's sacrilegious at all. I think that's how clothes should make you feel. Right? Like your best version. And you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
I'm interested in this trajectory of like starting out as an actor and feeling like, okay, who's going to lend me whatever? I should just be grateful and wear it, to your journey of like, no, I want to feel good in it.
Yeah.
I want to wear what I like. So how did you come to that, and what are those pieces that you gravitate towards? How did you find your personal style?
I think I've always known that like I love structure. Even when I look back at my school photos, I mean, I had to wear uniforms at school in the UK, like most of us do. And there were kind of choices like, did you want to wear like a blazer, or did you want to wear a shirt with a tie, or did you want to wear this round neck jumper? Like in all the pictures I'm in, like a blazer and a skirt and my like socks pulled up. And I think that's just sort of who I love blazers. I love shirts. I love tailoring. And I think there are certain parts of my body as well that I like more than others, I guess. And
want to highlight?
I've become more used to like, it's not random now when I look at photos from the red carpet and I'm like, oh, I know why. There are things that so I think I've just sort of, I understand the formula a little bit better.
When you look back at those photos, are there some where you're like, yes, really got it right there. Love looking at that one, not that one?
Yes, yeah, there are. I mean, there are lots of looks that I look back on and feel like I really feel like I felt like me, I look like me, I feel comfortable. And it's interesting, like you always know, you're leaving the house and you always know, like this isn't right.
I know. And then you have to live with it all day.
I know.
I hate that feeling.
I think it's interesting, like it's worse for some reason on the red carpet than it is as a character. Like I have almost no vanity when I'm working. Like as an actor, I feel like the most important thing is that I look and sound and feel like a character and you believe what you're seeing. Yeah. When it comes to kind of like beauty, obviously it's always great to look good, but that's just not the point. And I'm not worried about that at all when I'm working. It's the red carpet is so much more exposing than a show, even when the show or film can be like, more physically exposing.
As you have been on your show. But no, I know what you mean. I think that's a really good point that hasn't really been articulated on this show so far, that it can be almost harder to be on a red. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I wanted to just find out a little bit about you as a fashion person and as a shopper. Yeah. Do you go by season? Do you see something and flag it? Do you have hearted things on The Real and Net-a-Porter? And do you look at the runway? Tell us how it all works.
I am a big Net-a-Porter person. Okay. I have a big wish list, but it's more like a game, I think, in a way. I love just going through and hearting things.
You're hearting and watching.
And then I'll unheart things but I do buy when it feels right. And I like shopping in real life too, but I think I've started more recently to like invest in pieces that I really love. Okay. Recently, I bought a jumper from the Row, which felt like crazy at the time. Sure. And then I bought it, and
but you wear it
all the time, and I feel amazing in it. Yeah. And I love it so much. Yeah. It really is gorgeous, and just things like that. So it's I feel good right now.
Yeah, you're like allowing yourself.
I'm allowing myself to go there, but I love clothes, and more than anything, I love dressing up.
Well, this sort of like winds us to we go through these buys on the Good Buy. And the first one we always love to talk about is the first buy that was something you bought that made you feel like you'd made it, or that was really impactful to you. And I wonder if it it could be something that you bought for yourself when you were little, or it could be something that was after maybe your first, like Cobra, right? Was your first show? Or so tell us about the thing that made you feel like, okay, I've here.
Made it. Oh gosh, I have a story, and it's a bad one, unfortunately.
We love bad stories.
When I booked Industry, we had the read through for season 1 of Industry, and I was like, I have nothing to wear, and I'm playing Yasmin, and the description for Yasmin was vulnerability disguised by Prada. And I thought like,
I love that.
Yeah, I thought like, oh my God, I have nothing that is gonna, I'm not going to walk in this room and people are going to think like, that's Yasmin. I need to go shopping. And, also I was excited. I was making money for the first time.
Yeah.
I went to, I don't know if I should name the store because I feel like it's a bad story, but I mean, I love, it's Louis Vuitton. I love Louis Vuitton, but I went in and I was like, I need some shoes. And I was like, it can't be heels because that would be ridiculous for a read through. Like it should be something chilled. It should be trainers. I'm not a trainer girl anyway. Like I never wear trainers outside of the gym really.
I'm loving this journey.
Yeah. Okay. And they were these like huge LV trainers, like massive hype beastie like trainers. I mean, so not my thing at all, but I was like.
This was a panic purchase.
It was a panic purchase. It was like they scream like luxury. Right? I'm going to get them. It was my first big purchase, like I've never spent that much money before. And I was like, I've made it. I'm going to buy these shoes. I still get made fun of by the
cast for wearing them on the read-through.
And the writers and everyone. They're like, you walked in and we all were like, what the hell is she wearing on her feet?
Do you still have them?
I still have them. And Mickey, one of the writers of Industry, is like, you should box them like a pair of Jordans, like signed by Michael Jordan, that like, so they're iconic.
Yeah, in like plexiglass.
In like a plexiglass case.
Definitely.
But it was a really good lesson in that, like, if you're gonna buy something, especially like that, buy it for you to feel good, not for someone else to signal like I belong here.
Right.
Because 9 times out of 10 you're gonna look like a clown.
I mean, we've all been there with panic purchasing, but I did want to ask too about. I love that really short but like says a lot description of your character at the beginning, and I'm sure you had conversations about how her style evolved as her story evolved. So can you talk me through that a little bit? How did you feel like her style helped you convey your character, and how has that evolved as her arc has kind of really shifted?
It's shifted so much. It's kind of amazing. In season 1, I think the point was, first of all, like she came from a lot of privilege. So she was wearing like nicer designer clothes. But also she used her body as something that was, that was currency for her. So she presented in like an ultra feminine, like quite hypersexual way. I mean, and like sensual too, but sexual. I mean, the heels were like so high with straps around the ankles. Like it was quite kind of overt.
How high were we talking?
Oh, like a good sort of 6 to 7 inches. Yeah, it was. I mean, and I was all for it. It was great. But I think, and like quite sheer tops, super tight skirts.
Yeah.
And I think it was, she was presenting herself like for the male gaze in a big way. And I think that was sort of Yasmin in season 1. It was so useful physically.
Yeah, I was going to ask, it must have been helpful because it does force you at a pitch and
for sure
up and
you're sort of constrained in, you're like hoisted up in every way, and you're on the verge of sort of falling over. Right. Vulnerable. All times. Super vulnerable. These tiny little sort of scurrying steps.
Yeah, you can't take a stride.
No. So it's really informative physically, and I think that that's the great thing about clothing and character.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot play a sort of like boss, like powerful woman who's like taking up space in a skirt that doesn't allow you to like move that fast or hard,
Right.
And so and then in season 2 she was experimenting with trouser suits, pantsuits, taking up a bit more space. But I think the major shift came when she lost her money and her access to her dad's money and she was selling her clothes and selling her jewelry. So she wasn't as feminine. She was covering up a bit more. This last season, season 4, has been like the most interesting, I think, for me. She is sort of cosplaying the lady of the manor at the beginning of this season. Super aristo British energy. And, you know, there are things that are so exclusive that it's like, if you know, you know, but like hardly anyone knows about this like certain tweed of this certain jacket.
Right.
And so she's playing all of those games. It's so much about language, like exclusivity.
Right. You know, the term quiet luxury has been thrown around a
yeah.
lot, but that sort of hinges on that idea. But this
Totally.
is a real sort of class, and it's taken to
Absolutely.
another level, right?
Yeah, I mean, even stuff like wellies, Wellington boots in the UK, like there are specific brands. Yasmin only wears Durberries, which are like the most, I would say, raw, which means like upper class, aristo type wellies that you can find. But like even just things like there's a coat that Yasmin's wearing that's from a brand, you know, there are all these sort of stores on in kind of sort of Piccadilly near the arcades, right by the Mall. Like they're basically where like the Queen gets her coat
Right.
made,
And
that
and
kind
it's
of
all
stuff.
made to measure.
Yeah, it's all made to measure and custom, and it's just super exclusive. And unless you know to even look for it, you wouldn't know what you're
Right.
looking at. So,
Right.
I mean, Yasmin has dabbled in like quiet luxury in the sort of Celine sense of the word, and but this is just like a whole new level of like,
This is wealth.
yeah,
And right, like you said,
and it's class,
aristocracy.
yeah, aristocracy, yeah.
Yeah. I just have to ask a little bit about fashion and Back to Black and how that
yeah.
helped you. I know you really changed your body a lot too, but I wanted to ask how fashion kind of helped you become Amy.
Yeah, I mean, her body and her fashion changes so much over the 10 years that I played her. You know, I played her from 17 to 27. And at the beginning, she's like full of life and healthy and wearing very different clothes inspired by a very different era. You know, she was inspired by like hip hop and Lauryn Hill, and you can sort of feel that in the clothes, and she's taking up more space, and there is more of her body sort of like out there on show, and flat shoes as well, so it's easier to kind of like run around and be a bit more playful.
Yeah.
And be grounded. And then it all sort of switches, and she becomes around sort of, you know, 23, she becomes kind of inspired by girl groups and sort of 60s doo-wop type look with the beehive, obviously.
Right.
And my body physically changed. I got smaller, the clothes got smaller, everything becomes more sort of like tight to the body, and you're just taking up much less space again. And I think you feel so much more vulnerable, at like such a smaller size, but also so exposed physically in the clothes that you're wearing, that walking around the streets and kind of teetering around in that place is just a very different thing to wearing sort of those black Reeboks that she used to wear, where, you know, she's safer in them.
Right. She's like literally on her feet.
On her feet,
Yeah.
Then in these, like, either she would kind of fluctuate between like Louboutin, like very high Louboutins, or those ballet pumps. And neither are particularly, you know, comfortable. So,
Right.
yeah.
Your last answer kind of touched on this, but I'm wondering if we always ask, one of the buys questions is, what is your regret buy? I don't think you regret the Vuittons.
I think at the time
They're
I was
part
like,
of your journey.
Yeah, at the time I was like, I want to go back and make sure this never happened. But now I love them as part of my journey.
Yeah.
Some regret buys. I mean, you know, I think I regret always like running in and buying something from somewhere where like I had no plan that day of buying something. I just like walked into, you know, not a particularly
Like a
great
high street?
store. Yeah, a high street. And I was like, oh, it's hot outside right now. I'm going to buy this little
An
tank
impulse.
top. Right.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, it's fine, but the stuff in my wardrobe that I'm always like, ugh.
Why is this
are
here?
those like horrible little dresses
Yeah.
or those little tops that like I never really needed. And I, you know, it is about like learning your lesson, I think, from doing that, because I mean, I have been guilty of like, yeah, especially when I'm at work and let's say I am filming in the morning and then I have the whole afternoon off and I'm in some new city and I don't know anyone. I'm just walking around. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute. I'll get that. And then I never, you know.
The next buy that I'm going to ask you about is a repeat buy. Mm-hmm. Is there something you buy in multiples or you use up and buy again?
I mean, white t-shirts is like probably the most thing that I buy.
Do you have a favorite?
I love a COS white t-shirt.
Yep.
I think a COS white t-shirt is really great.
True.
And then the other thing that I buy all the time is just socks.
Okay.
My sock game is kind of out of control.
Let's talk about your out of control sock game. I'm ready.
I mean, I love a cashmere sock.
Okay.
I love a really comfortable sock because I think especially at the moment, I'm wearing a lot of gym socks, which I go through. And I usually just sort of like get those from like Uniqlo or something like that. And I think the thing about obviously like a really nice cashmere sock or like any kind of nice thick sock is the washing is so difficult. Like that it's important to have like enough pairs so that if you have to send them off to the dry cleaners, they have time.
That's, I think, part of the nice thing about luxury too is like you have to work for it.
Yeah.
They're made beautifully and they're in a beautiful material, so you can't just like throw them in the dryer like anything else.
Exactly.
You told me you have a lot of hearted things in your net-a-porter.
Yeah.
Is there a dream buy right now for you? Something you're thinking about? And it could be like a piece of clothing, but this could be really big. I'm sort of interested in also, you know, what your home looks like. Do you think about home stuff
I
too?
do. I love home stuff. I mean, I love buying art. And it was kind of the first thing that I started to really like invest in when I started making, you know, I didn't grow up with any money really, and my family didn't really talk about, or I didn't really know about the stock market. So like investing and stuff like that always really scared me, and like saying goodbye to money, and like it felt like gambling.
And then you end up on this show.
Right. Yeah, I know, exactly. I didn't understand it at all. So for me, art made sense. I was going to buy it. It would be on my wall. So it was something that I had, but it would go up in value. And like that was something that I really, that made sense to me. So I started buying art and I just love it. Like I really do. And I love photography. And we moved house recently and I bought a sofa. And that's, you know,
Couches that's a big investment.
A purchase.
Yeah,
I know. I've always been like renting places that came furnished. This is my first place that was unfurnished, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy a nice sofa that I love.
Yeah.
And I bought a sofa from Jonathan Adler.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Is it a color? Can you tell us about it?
It's green velvet.
Beautiful.
Quite a dark green velvet. Which is scary velvet. At first, I was like, "Don't scratch it, don't touch it."
It's pretty durable, though.
It really is, and also it gets cooler. Like if it moves around, and like, you just can't really be too afraid of it.
Yeah,
but it has these like circular gold legs, so it's quite low to the ground. I really love it. My big heart wish list. It is a lot of like furniture and stuff right now.
It's funny when you go from that transition to thinking about clothes and like, buying them on sale and not wanting to spend too much. And then you get older and you have a place that you want to put furniture in and you're like, oh, this is expensive.
No, exactly. And then
this is a whole different game.
Your mind out when you're thinking about clothes. I think it's really bad for shopping with clothes because you start being like, it's nothing.
It's nothing
but
compared
actually,
to this couch I want.
I mean, obviously, I just got married last year. So, like, that's, like, the worst time to be spending money on clothes because you start to think, like, your concept of what you're spending money on just changes because you're spending money like you haven't done before.
No, it's a different thing.
Yeah,
it's a different plane. Wait, so can we talk about it a little because the dress was so beautiful.
You. Yeah.
Were you someone who always had an idea of what you wanted to look like as a bride, or how did How did all the looks come together?
I think I didn't always have an idea of what I wanted to look like, but once I started to think about marriage, I did have an idea of what I wanted the dress to be like. I don't think I knew it was going to be like quite as big as it ended up being.
Yeah.
But the amazing thing about this dress, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I never felt like it was too big, and I never wanted a huge skirt, massive, but it just kind of, when I tried it on, and it was, it was incredibly long.
Let's tell everyone, this is Amelia Wickstead, right?
Amelia Wickstead dress, yeah. It was Duchess satin.
Right, it's like cream colored.
Sort of off-white, yeah, and it was across my shoulder.
But with a little sleeve.
With a little sleeve. That was one of the things that me and Amelia were like going back and forth on, because I wanted a little sleeve, and I think she was like, it will be really modern if it's just like nothing. And I think on your wedding day, if you feel like it's going to make you feel better, you go for it.
Yeah.
Like, don't want to be thinking on the day of like,
I wish
or whatever, So I mean, she came up with so many sketches, and I sort of fell in love with this drop waist. And there was a picture of Audrey Hepburn and Funny Face that I just fell in love with. And we kind of went off of that sort of style. And I mean, I love it so much. And I've never felt so great. And, the diamond necklace and the hairline was like, it's like my favorite thing. And
it was so cool.
There's something slightly whimsical about it. And my dress was like incredibly romantic, but it was very structured. There was a corset, and like I really wanted to feel romantic on the day as well. And that just felt kind of sort of magical to me. And we went to somewhere called Bentley and Skinner in London, which is like an antique jeweler. And they showed us all of these tiaras, and I didn't want to wear a tiara.
Okay.
And it just didn't feel right for me,
Yeah.
And then they brought out these necklaces, and I showed the picture, and it's just this amazing sort of tennis necklace. And I put it in my hair, and we attached it with just some bobby pins. I mean, thank God it was okay.
Yeah.
Because it was
No, it looks like it was made to be
in
around your head. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
One thing I did forget to ask you at the beginning was, we talked about your wedding white outfit, but can you tell us what you're wearing head to toe?
I am wearing an Alessandra Rich shirt and Akari trousers. I love this brand.
They're great.
Yeah, they're like these sort of
a little bit barrel
leg trousers. They're really great. And Alessandra Rich shoes. I mean, I love monochromatic looks. I think it's, other than like denim and white and black and denim and what I just, monochromatic to me is like the coolest thing, and so easy.
I love it
so
too.
Chic.
Yeah, it just makes you feel so pulled together. But I think you're doing something which I always feel like is important when you're doing monochromatic, is like there's lots of different
shades,
texture.
for sure, different texture and different shades. I mean, I'm not. It doesn't have to be like the perfect shade of everything. I think to go, and that I think texture is important, and also, I love that they're like actually also very different brands. This is a kind of much more sort of durable, thick, like almost it feels like a kind of menswear type trouser.
Yeah.
And it's like a very sort of
very feminine
shirt. I mean, it's, to me, press day looks are really tricky as well, because it's kind of like my equivalent, I guess, of like business meetings.
Right.
I always sort of think. But like, I guess it's sort of like, what would I wear if I was, walking into a room it's a first impression.
Yeah, totally.
And it's kind of like, what are you trying to say is always the thing.
Yeah. This was such a treat.
Thank you
so much.
Thanks for having me.
And this was Harper's Bazaar's The Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.